Alright, so today you guys, we're going to talk about the new Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance, which is the La Belle Le Parfum version. I don't know, where do I even begin? But before I even start to get into that, if you're brand new to my channel, hi, how you doing? This is Joyce's Perfume Life. I discuss perfume here on my channel. So if you're interested to hear my thoughts about some of the new releases, some niche fragrances, and basically just any kind of fragrances that I like, yeah, go ahead and subscribe, hit that button down below and click that bell so that you're notified every time that I upload a video. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So I had a bit of a weird night because I didn't sleep well. So if it's showing in my voice, that's what's going on. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. All right guys, let's talk about it. This is the new Jean-Paul Gaultier La Belle Le Parfum. This is the intense version of the original La Belle fragrance. I did a first impressions on this, so I'll link it up above for you guys who are interested. I finally have sprayed enough times to kind of tell you guys what I think, and maybe you guys can tell, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's talk about it. So this is the intense version of the original La Belle. So this is an eau de parfum formulation. I actually have the original here as well, and this one here is also an eau de parfum, which goes to explain why I feel how I feel. So this is the original. I've got the 100 ml. I love this bad boy. You can see I've used a little bit because it performs really well. So even though it doesn't look like I've used a lot, like I just don't need much. Like it's great. It performs amazingly, and I'm always singing its praises. I had high hopes for this, but I also had feelings that I would not like it because I just thought the original was so perfect. I didn't know what else they were going to do to this to make it even better. And to be honest, I think I was right. For me anyway, for me. So this is, I'm just going to take it off. This is a pear, tonka and vanilla fragrance. Those are the only those are the only three notes that they report, but we all know that there's a lot more happening in fragrances. They just kind of, you know, give us the headlines sometimes. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and describe this fragrance for you first of all before I explain why I don't like it. But in the top it's a spicy pear. Yeah, it's a, imagine getting a pear and grilling it or just frying it on a pan, and the smell that you get from the skin and the flesh and the sweetness, and then add a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg. That's what you get from the top of this fragrance. It's also got a vetiver note to it, which is in the original, but in the intense version it's amped up. So it smells a little bit like soil, but pleasant. It's a pleasant soil smell. Now that does depend. I know there's some people where that vetiver note can pull more masculine. On me, it's fine. It doesn't actually pull too badly on my skin. Then you get a whiff of the vanilla, which is gorgeous. It's that Madagascar vanilla that I really enjoy. It kind of smells like bakery. It smells like cookies. It smells like vanilla cake. It's just a really pleasant vanilla. Now this is where things start to get tricky, because as you get into the mid, a whole bunch of other stuff starts happening, right? So the top of this smells almost identical to the top of La Belle, just amped up ever so slightly. And I don't know why you would, why? Like, you got it perfect the first time, right? So anyway, the top of this is almost exactly like the original La Belle. So if you like the top of the original La Belle, you like the top of this. Now the mid is where I personally have beef with this fragrance, okay? Because it gets spicy, but not the spicy that I like. It took me a while to figure it out, or figure out what spices were in the mid that were really irking me, because essentially the mid of this is headache inducing for me, and it makes me feel sick. The times that I've worn this, the mid has definitely given me like I'm gonna throw up type of vibes. Not because it's badly done, not because it smells yucky, but it's because it's the notes that are headache inducing for me and do make me feel sick. You know what I mean? So anyway, the mid of this is very spicy. And the mid has a cinnamon note that I cannot stomach. It's almost like it has cinnamon and clove. That kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of cardamom, I don't know. But mostly I get cinnamon. Now, if you guys have smelled Kilian's Angel Share, there's a cinnamon note in that. And the reason why I have not purchased that fragrance is because that cinnamon note makes me feel sick. right? Otherwise, it's a very, very nice fragrance. I mean, people aren't lying, it's gorgeous. But that cinnamon note is the same cinnamon note in here, and it just makes me feel sick. It makes, like, genuinely feel like I'm gonna throw up. So that's that. Like, even right now my head's pounding. So that's the problem. The problem is that this is headache inducing and sickly for me, honestly. The mid hangs around for a long time, especially on skin. Especially on skin. So if you're fond of those kind of spices, right, your cinnamons, your nutmegs, your clove, that kind of world of spices, then yeah, you're gonna really like the mid of it. Again, with a sprinkling of vetiver, with a sprinkling of that kind of rustic, almost like soil, almost masculine kind of note that's in the mid, with the vanilla as well from the opening. So yeah, now the mid lasts on me again too long, because it just makes me feel ill. So I haven't been able to enjoy this fragrance, to be honest. Like, I've worn it and I cannot enjoy it because that mid probably lasts, at least on my skin, it lasts probably about 2 hours. So in terms of the performance of this, it's definitely a banger. Like, it performs just as well as the original La Belle, if not, maybe they've added like an extra hour worth of wear time because of the notes that are in here. So it's definitely a really good projector. It's definitely a really good one for longevity. The dry down is better for me. So once it's gone past that whole spicy stage, the dry down is a vanilla tonka experience, mostly tonka. So tonka kind of smells to me like a creamy bean. I don't know how else to explain it, like a creamy, slightly sweet bean, right? So that's how it dries down on my skin, and it's pleasant. I actually went on a date, I don't know when you guys will see this, but I went on a date and I still had this on my wrist, and the guy kind of like kissed my hand and he loved the smell of it, and by the time he was smelling it, it had dried down fully to the whole tonka experience. So I have actually received a compliment off of this fragrance. So I guess somebody out there does like it. I just don't. I honestly don't think that they added any extra value with this fragrance, to be honest. But I think it's genuinely because I don't like the notes that are in this fragrance. I just don't get it. Like, why create La Belle and then copy it and then just add? I just feel like it was a bit of a cash cow, honestly. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if you've sprayed it and you really enjoy it. This is definitely your mature, your more mature version of La Belle. La Belle just has a magic to it. I can't even explain it. I've put these two side by side on my skin like countless times, and there's a magic to the original La Belle that they just didn't replicate in this. And I don't know what it is. The original La Belle is lighter, even though it's pretty full-bodied. It's a lighter, fruitier, sharper pear. The vanilla is also there, but it's a slightly lighter version. The vetiver for me isn't doing too much on this, and it's just a really, really nice experience. Like, and I've been getting compliments on this from the time that I initially picked it up. So I don't know. Would I recommend it? I think it's all right. The formulation is good, projection's good, longevity is good. So it's not a dud. They've done a good fragrance. I just don't like it. Would I recommend it? If you like cinnamon, if you like your spicy fragrances, and you want La Belle times 5, amped up, more mature and sexy, yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead and get it. I don't think it'll be bad for you at all. I think you might actually even enjoy it. But if you have the original La Belle, just finish this, you know what I'm saying? Finish this, and then once you finished it, go ahead and get the new one. If you don't have either of these, I still recommend getting the original because I just love the original. But if you don't have La Belle and you're really curious and you do like that spicy take and you do like things that are a little bit more mature and, you know, blah, 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 then yeah, sure, why not? You can go ahead and get the La Parfum.